Welcome everyone to the first episode of Panthers Downloaded, the exclusive location for you and I, Panther esports content, interviews. I'm very excited to join you all today. I am going to be your host, Stephen Hutting, aka Vandium. Today, I am joined for an interview by a very, very special individual, the one, the only, the greatest caster to ever do it, Hunter White, aka Jager. Hunter, thank you so much for coming along and doing this interview with us today.
Yeah, absolutely, Stephen. I like the energy. Starting off great.
Very, very good. I'm loving doing this with you. I'm very excited to do it. You and I have worked together before in the past, and very good to be working with you again. Like I said, you are one of the wonderful casters that we have here at Panther Esports, and what really brings the whole sport alive for our fans and for the players. You know, you really bring a lot of energy whenever you get in that casting booth and you get to cast these games. What do you enjoy most about being a caster for this organization?
Oh my goodness. So casting was actually a dream of mine when I was real young. So doing voice work and being able to shout cast was sort of kind of like a dream of mine. So being able to do this for the organization already means so much to me. I mean, that's why I try to bring my A game every single day when I come to the casting booth. Try to make it interesting for not only the people who watch, but for myself as well, because it's so fulfilling when I feel engaged, and it's so great to be able to get a lot out of it and see other people enjoy it as well.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that we absolutely love is the energy that you bring to the booth. You bring an energy that seems to be rivaled by none. We've had multiple LAN events where other teams have come in and even said, "Hey, this Jager guy, he brings a lot of energy, he brings a lot of fun." But we absolutely love having you in as a caster. I know you engage in some other hobbies, other careers. I've heard you're a voice actor.
Yes. So that was a really cool story. So I was able to be selected as a voice for a video game called Hell Let Loose. Basically, what happened was in their pre-beta, before they went to full launch, they sent out a message over Discord to the community, and they're like, "Hey, here's a couple prompts. You can go ahead and, record a 60-second video, audio file to you doing these prompts. And if you're good enough, we'll pick you." And so I did that. I want to say September of 2020. And a couple months passed and I didn't think I was going to get anything. And then December, I get an email from a guy from Australia who is actually one of the developers who were working on Hell Let Loose. And they were like, "Hey, we really like your voice. Send us your audio file and we'll put you in the game."
That's awesome. What character in the game do you voice then?
So basically voiceless human.
Okay.
Because what Hell Let Loose is it's a World War II first-person shooter tactical game. And what they just needed was ambient sounds to just go along with your character as you're going on in the world. I think the prompts that I picked were like being shot in the hand, being crushed by a tank, falling from a high up. There was also one where I think the one that I got picked was like getting shot in the stomach and drowning.
Okay.
Yes. So with the drowning one, I knew that a lot of people, so voice acting is a very tough field to get into because a lot of people do a lot of things to try and make it to the top. So I 100% knew people were like trying to drown themselves in like tubs, and I was not about to do that. So what I ended up doing was I ended up just getting a little bottle of water, gargling it, and as I was recording the 60 seconds of me just choking on water. So maybe they use that in the game. It's really interesting. I mean, the whole creative process is very fun.
Absolutely. We love that. We love to see that kind of creativity around, especially when you can bring that kind of creativity into your other fields of work, whether it be casting or future voiceover careers. But so you're sort of just that sort of annoying NPC voice lines that you hear over and over and
Yes.
over again.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm not like the annoying one that's like, oh, I've always wondered why did I get shot in the knee, or nothing too annoying like that, but something to really help immerse the world into making it feel real. Because when I actually was recording, one of my roommates came in, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just recording something." He's like, "Okay, you sounded like you were dying."
That's how you know you've reached that peak point. You've reached that point of like, hey, someone thinks I'm dying. I'm doing this right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about believability, man.
Absolutely. Well, you bring anything but annoying when you're in the casting booth, and we've seen you paired up with a lot of different casters that range from Igloo to Pan. You've also casted a plethora of games. I mean, you've casted Smash Bros, Rocket League, Overwatch. Uh, is there really a game that you love casting, like a specific game that you absolutely love casting, or are you really just kind of this Swiss Army knife of, hey, I like doing all of it?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really hard because when it comes to casting, you really have to think about, engagement and then game knowledge. And then there's also, being able to describe what's in front of you, which is literally a part of all like broadcasting in general, radio, TV, and of course, esports with Twitch and whatnot. But it's hard to nail it down, Steven. I mean, it really is. I mean, I love Overwatch. I started Overwatch in sophomore year of college, kind of stuck with that. And that's kind of how I got into the organization. So Overwatch casting has a special place in my heart. But I love the excitement of trying to be able to learn a game very quickly and then just hopping into the booth the next day, giving it the best I got. Of course, you're always going to make mistakes in casting. That's just how it is. I mean, I've seen people in Overwatch League or the Valorant League, who they make little flub ups or wrong calls to what's going on the screen. But I I just love casting it all, man. I just love bringing the hype, bringing the excitement, and watching some really awesome things unfold right before the eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we love having you. We love having you around. Your versatility really brings a lot to the table as far as when it's crunch time. You always seem to be there whenever we need a caster, and really, you've sort of grown a reputation of just kind of coming in clutch when the organization needs it most. You talked about how you started playing Overwatch your sophomore year. You, to my knowledge, you played on the Overwatch team for a while, did you not?
Yes, I actually did. I did it for about a year and a half. A buddy of mine, Sam, he used to be a tank on gold or purple team. Way back when the organization got started, I sort of kind of asked him, what the whole organization was about, and he's like, "Oh, playing Overwatch. There's some Valorant. There is some Halo. There's some League of Legends, Siege, all this." And he was like, "Yeah, so you should just come to one of our events, kind of see what we're about." And I did, and I was like, "Man, this is really cool." And then that's when I got connected then with Jacob Hildreth, who soon to be was the coach of Overwatch for the Panther esports, and being able to um, you know meet with him, sort of kind of develop a relationship that way. And then he's like, "Hey, we got tryouts if you want to try out for it." Tried out. I got gold team, so I got JV originally, but then some staffing issues kind of happened that I got pulled up to purple. And I had fun with that. I think one of the greatest times there was playing at the UNI Open, um, when we had a Grandview there and all those teams.
Of course. Yeah. So Of course, joining this, in my opinion, joining the organization is sort of like the hardest part of taking that leap of faith of saying, hey, I want to go join this organization. And really from there, it seems like the community just kind of picks people up. I know that's a lot of what happened with me, where I just kind of just like on a whim, I'm just like, I'll go try this out. And now, I have some of the best friends in my entire life that I've met through this organization. And it really does seem to be a family when you join.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can totally talk about that because I mean, along with you, Stephen, I've made friends, with Pan, with Tristan, Skip. You can name anybody who's on that Overwatch roster.
Oh, absolutely.
and even people outside the organization too, or outside the Overwatch organization is kind of what I meant. But I mean, there's a couple league guys that I know and I chit chat with pretty regularly. A couple guys on the Siege team where, I like chit chatting with them. Everybody's so welcoming and everyone's so nice. So, but you're right. Taking that leap of faith is really one of the hardest parts about joining any organization, because I mean, especially when I joined back in 2017, esports was still kind of on this, little baby, it's just new, try, what is it going to be, still in its early development. So I'm glad I did take that chance though.
Right. Well, and when you joined, Panther Esports had really just begun, because it started in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it had really just begun when you had joined. And now it seems like it seems to be an idea that's taking off, not only at UNI, but also at a collection of schools. And it's really kind of interesting to watch this whole thing expand and grow. And I'm very fortunate to be a part of that, because being on the executive board now, I really get to help with that expansion. And it really gives me a great opportunities like what we're doing right here, where I get to interview some amazing people and get to have good conversation with people. But let's go back into the casting portion of this. A great question. Who do you look up to as far as casting goes? Do you have an inspiration of someone that you kind of watch and try to learn from and mimic a little bit? Who do you look to?
That's a good question. And I think about it a lot, about casting style, because every caster has their own style. And I guess I don't necessarily borrow from anybody, but I have tons of inspiration. I think the people who've inspired me the most is Reinforce and Custa for Overwatch. I mean, just the energy and the knowledge that they bring to the table, it just their style of being able to give information in a very personable way with their own little twist on it and being very excited while they're doing it is just phenomenal. And I try to hopefully emulate that a little bit. So maybe I do take a little bit more inspiration from them than what I think.
Yeah, well, you definitely bring energy to the table and to the organization really as a whole. Just in general, just gaming with you and playing with you, you have this energy that's almost contagious, and it's really quite amazing to witness and to get to experience. And one that I'm very fortunate to be able to experience. A lot of people in Panther Esports are very fortunate to get to experience. And honestly, just being a part of Panther Esports is just awesome for the community. You bring a lot to it, and your energy is unrivaled, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much.
No problem. And so do you have a favorite sort of moment? Do you have a favorite moment from being a part of Panther Esports, a favorite memory story that you would like to share with us today?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I actually kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. So back when I was on the Panther Esports Overwatch Purple team, we had the UNI Open, where we basically brought in a bunch of schools, high schools, colleges to UNI, and we played a Overwatch LAN tournament. And oh my goodness, that was so fun to play. I actually dressed up. So this was, I think, a year after the inaugural season of Overwatch. And I'm a big Philly Fusion fan, so I don't know, maybe you lose viewers after I say that, but
I doubt it.
But I had a custom jersey. I had Jaeger on it. I had 39 which is sort of kind of like a special number to me. And when I wasn't playing, I was wearing that jersey, but when we were on stage, on this main stage of literally 6 computers on one side, 6 computers on the other, and then on the back of the Mocker Ballroom, just a big screen that was broadcasting sort of kind of like a spectator's view of the whole event. But my favorite memory of that was when we were actually playing Grandview. So Grandview was the team to beat. They were made of masters and grandmasters, so really, really tough people, and they have been sweeping the floor essentially all day at the tournament. And we ended up getting to them in the finals. And of course, we were we took out teams like Ames, Waterloo High School showed up, we defeated them. So our only loss really was given by Grandview, and they swept us the first time. Well, when we met them in the finals, I was able to, or I guess our team was able to take a map off of Grandview, and that was kind of our pin. You know how in Overwatch,
that was your claim to fame.
Huh?
That was your claim to fame.
Yeah, that was the claim to fame, I guess. Because I mean, it was literally amazing. Like you kind of hear the comms in esports teams where like everybody's yelling at the same time, and it like makes no coherent sense, but it makes all the sense at the same time to what's going on. That's 100% what was going on. So it was so fun to do that and experience that. I think one time after a team fight, I just like disconnected myself from it all. Just, well, not physically from the game, but I sort of kind of like took a step back in my mind, and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah,
being a part of all this.
Absolutely. Well, Hunter, we're running out of time here, which is really unfortunate because I would love to keep talking with you, and maybe we'll have to bring you back for another interview at some point here. As we, head into next semester, I'm sure you'll be around casting. I take it, unless you have other plans going on.
Oh no, I've already chit-chatted with I think Addy, he is the president, and Skip, who's the Overwatch coach right now. So, and they were like, yeah, come on back. And I'm like, absolutely, of course. Yeah.
No, we definitely want you back.
Oh, I appreciate that. And something like this is so great, so unique to be a part of, and I'm just so thankful to be a part of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we go, do you have any tips for any aspiring casters out there who might be looking to get into the hobby or into the career?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing that I would sort of kind of put on as my holy grail of advice is just be excited to do it. I mean, not a lot of people get the chance to start casting. So when you do, be excited to do it. And in fact, when you start, it's going to sound a little rough. It's going to sound a little tough. I know right before I started casting, with Igloo and you, Steven, as production, I actually casted myself, like recorded audio of me casting Overwatch League like sessions and matches. Right. And it was tough because I just could not get into it. And I don't know why, because I love the game, but it was just very difficult to sound exciting. So if you can sound exciting, that means people are also going to get excited, and hopefully it's just going to keep going from there.
Awesome. Great advice from a great caster. Hunter, thank you so much for joining me here on this first ever episode of Panthers Downloaded. You got any social medias you want to plug? Anything you want to plug while you're on the channel? Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Twitter at Hunter VADM. That stands for Voice Actor Dungeon Master, because those are two things that I'm really into: Dungeons and Dragons and voice acting. You can follow me on Twitter there. I post a lot
about my podcast that I have, Leadership and Business Story. If you want to learn more about that, go on there, check me out. Otherwise, you can find me at huntervadm@gmail.com, where mostly I can have my business inquiries, or if you want to just learn more about casting, I'll be happy to answer that questions for you.
Awesome. And of course, everyone, make sure you go down. All of this information will be down in the description. Make sure you go and follow the other Panther Esports social medias. We post on there as much as we possibly can. If you want to see highlights, make sure you go and check out the TikTok account. Also, for all of you UNI students out there, signups for the next semester of Panther Esports will be opening up here in a few days. On July 1st, those will be opening up. Those links will be put out on most of our social media accounts. Go join it, Hunter. They should go join it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being a part of this organization is going to be something great, and you're not going to regret it. Trust me. I mean, just dive right, head first, be excited for it. You'll have fun.
All right. And with that, we say goodbye for this episode of Panthers Downloaded. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for watching. We can't wait to see you all next time, and peace.